Hey, everybody, this is Jimmy. Welcome back to another episode of the Cambridge Meet the Candidate series for Cambridge City Council and School Committee. Our guest today is Ayah Zubi. She has run once before for Cambridge City Council. She's at it again. She had so much fun the first time. She says, I got to do this again. Please welcome to the show, the one and only Ayah Zubi. Hello, Ayah. How are you?
I'm doing all right. How are you, Jimmy? Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. I'm doing fine. I am thoroughly enjoying talking to all the people running for office. I'm learning more about the people running and learning more about the issues in the city. So I thoroughly enjoy it. So Aya, tell the people who are not familiar with you, who you are, some of your background, and why you're running for Cambridge City Council.
Absolutely. So my name is Ayah Al-Zubi, and I use the She/Her series. And I'm a young Muslim woman and organizer in the community. I was born in Jordan and moved around a lot growing up and didn't really have a sense of community until I came to Cambridge to study at Harvard. And I've been very dedicated about giving back. And that's part of why I'm running again. Jimmy, as you mentioned, I ran in 2023. I came in 10th of the 9 as the first runner up. And we're back again because our campaign has a relentless focus on ensuring we're moving to protect our residents from the Trump administration and also deliver on issues that we feel like the city is not moving urgently enough on. I'm sure we'll jump into a few of those issues soon enough.
Sure. Well, tell me, if you were to be elected, what are some of the 2 or 3 or 4 things you'd like to accomplish as a city council?
Yeah, so our campaign believes in our vision, which is that we believe our city can be dignified and affordable for everyone. This stretches across a platform of policies, and let me jump in to talk about a few of them. The first is we believe that no one should have to worry about making rent or affording a home. And in this way, our campaign, because we don't take real estate developer money, we're trying to bridge a third lane on the housing issue. We want to really take the time to put government resources into housing because we can't expect the same forces that brought us into this crisis to take us out of it. So we want to leverage things like social housing, which essentially takes our AAA bond rating in the city, which we're one of few cities across the United States that has this rating, to be able to bring in financial resources to push on housing production where we know it can stay sustainably affordable. That's on housing. On transportation, we believe that everyone should be able to get around safely, no matter your mode of transportation. And with that, we want to work on making the number 1 bus free, support bike infrastructure, and create the first sidewalk safety ordinance because I've talked to many residents about the inaccessibility of our sidewalks, as well as things as like increasing our shuttle services for our elderly right now so they're able to better access groceries, medicine, and more. I would probably leave the other 2 at the first. We believe that we should have opportunities for our families, parents, caregivers, educators, students to be able to access after-school opportunities. The city turned down over 200 families in the past year for after-school programming. So our campaign also believes in universal childcare. And another piece of that is creating the first committee where we can bring in educators, caregivers, and students to talk about issues that the city council works on, but that affects our school district. Because our campaign doesn't believe that our school district should overcompensate for all the city council issues that we can leverage and do better on. Like, for example, the way that housing can impact a student's performance if, for example, they don't have a stable housing situation, or if they're not able to access food. So that's also another piece we want to work on. I'd probably say the final priority that we have is believing that no one should have to worry about affording food. I mean, we're sandwiched between Whole Foods, which, at least for me, is not a place that I can sustainably shop at. And especially in light of Daily Table, we want to work through what is it like to build the first city-run grocery store where we can guarantee the affordability of our food.
Great. Well, that's a comprehensive list. Let me ask you, there are certain policies, there are certain suggestions, policy agendas, positions on the city council right now around at least two of those issues. In terms of the housing issue, is there which camp would you fall into? Are you in a separate lane compared to the other suggestions that are on the council's agenda?
Yeah, so on the housing issue, I believe our campaign bridges a third lane. We believe that we do need more housing. We just don't believe necessarily on fully using market rate development to fix our housing crisis. This is kind of how I mentioned we can't rely on the same forces that brought us into this crisis to take us out of this crisis. So we really want to leverage more financial resources from the government so that we can ensure the sustainability of that affordability.
Right. Is there anybody or any policy on the city council agenda that reflects those positions already that are working in that vein? I'm trying to give the audience an idea of what it would look like in terms of what's already being suggested and already there.
Yeah, so actually recently this just happened. I gave public comment at it about social housing, which is essentially a way that we can leverage government resources to build housing from, again, the city side, not necessarily the market rate side, which brings us housing that is low income, middle income, market rate, deeply affordable, and helps us, again, guarantee the sustainability of affordability. That just was on the council literally earlier this week. So we're making progress on it. I want to be someone that really sees it through in council.
Right. Have you been endorsed by any of these slates? I know I can't even remember all the names of the different slates but there's a Better Cambridge, I think there's Cambridge Civic Community or whatever. But have any of those folks endorsed your campaign?
Yeah, it's a great question. I actually didn't seek out a Better Cambridge's endorsement or the Cambridge Citizens Coalition, which are the two known organizations on the housing issue. I did actually just receive the endorsement from the Cambridge Residents Alliance and also Our Revolution Cambridge, which I feel like speaks to our housing platform more fully than the other two groups. Again, because we're really trying to approach the housing crisis differently.
In terms of the education policy in the city, how do you think we're doing with it? And are there things that you would suggest? You were talking about these, these improvements to the education system where it's connected to housing and all that. Do you think the city's been doing a good job with that? Or do you think they've been doing a terrible job? Or do you think they've been doing well and we could be doing better? I mean, how do you basically come at that issue?
Yeah, education is a huge part of my upbringing, and I believe it is very relevant to how city council functions. I do think we can do a lot more with how we work in our city council issues on our school district without, again, really diving into the bureaucracy of the school district and school committee. I want to make sure that we give them that autonomy while also recognizing that we can have a lot more conversations to talk about how these issues that city council works on affects our caregivers, educators, and students. In 2023, I championed essentially asking the question, why is the mayor the automatic chair of the school committee? And in fact, at this current election, we will have charter reform on the ballot, which the residents will be able to choose about some of the changes that the charter review committee talked about. And that was one of them. So it was good to see that conversation happen and that it'll be on the ballot. But we definitely think that there can be a lot more done to make sure we close our inequity gaps and give the opportunity for our young people to be empowered, to learn how to critically think and engage in empathy and curiosity as they enter the world.
Talk about a contentious issue, housing, bike lanes, now charter schools. Do you have a position on charter schools for the city of Cambridge?
I do believe I need to learn more about the issue. I can't confidently say where I land on the topic, but I will say, right, there are conversations I've had with people in terms of resources and how we can make sure they're equitably spread across schools. How can we talk about inequity gaps, and where does the conversation come in when we talk about charter schools versus our school district? So there's more to be had, and I will say I can definitely learn a lot more.
I think we all can. And you had mentioned the Trump administration, and we discussed this with a couple of the other candidates as well. It could be, a lot less money coming to the city, and we're gonna have to make up money somehow. We either have to cut programs or increase revenues to the city. Have you thought about that? And do you have any ideas about it one way or the other?
Yeah, so I know that the Trump administration is taking cuts to a lot of things that are impacting our community members. And a big piece of what we're trying to do is think about how we can bring in more revenue resources. An example of that is I've been a part of the advocacy to make sure that we're pushing Harvard to pay its fair share in the community. Harvard right now pays, I believe, around 6 to 8 million a year, and we kind of kicked the can down the road in terms of their negotiations. So that's one way we can explore, right? Bringing in more revenue for our city. Another piece is leveraging creative ways to bring in smaller amounts of dollars so that we can invest in more things. And not to mention to you, Jimmy, we've got free cash, and our free cash in our budget is at about, I believe, 160 to 180 million dollars. So we have money that is sitting there ready to be used when we really deem that we want to use it. We just have to have the political will to engage with what issues that we want to use it on.
Right. Well, tell me, is there anything else? We have a couple of minutes left. Is there anything else we didn't get to that you'd like to tell people about you or your ideas? And then how can people learn more about you? Perhaps volunteer for your campaign,
Yes.
perhaps make a large donation to your campaign, and please let them know your website. Uh, please take it away.
Yes, I appreciate that. I think I'd love to leave folks knowing that community is how I was raised, and we believe in our campaign that community is how we can win and build back trust in politics. Right now, I know that my name is on the ballot, but we really believe that our campaign, a vote for us, is a vote for you, because at the end of the day, we want to build people power. And so if you believe in our vision for how we want to build Cambridge, please join us. Join us at our website at votealzubi.com. That's votealzubi.com to volunteer, to donate, to reach out and ask any questions or engage with any of the issues that you might care about, especially on topics that I've mentioned to you. And even if someone out there wants to talk more about charter schools, I'd love to do so that I can also learn more. Um, we really are we're trying to approach a new era of politics and believe in education and empowerment. So hopefully people feel like this resonates with them, and feel free to reach out and join us. We'd love to have you.
Great. Tell me, when you were at Harvard, and I mean, are you actively seeking out the quote student vote or the? I imagine you probably are.
Yeah, we're definitely trying to engage with students.
Yeah. And what kind of you must have your finger on the pulse of how younger people are thinking about politics in general, not just the city, but overall. And what are your senses with that?
Yeah, there is definitely a lot more in which our students can get involved locally. Definitely, young people have been active on the national level, but we're really trying to gear students in our communities between Lesley, MIT, and Harvard, and through our public system, right, through CRLS, so that we can help them learn how to critically think and approach issues with empathy. We really want to bring more young people into local politics. Right now, they're really centered around national politics. So that's what we're trying to do, bring more students in. And we were endorsed by the Harvard Democrats. So we've definitely been able to engage a bit more with the student population through them. And we'll hopefully do a voter registration drive as well.
Great. Before we say goodbye, are there any other endorsements that you received?
Yes, there are a handful. Just to save some time, I won't list them off, but I'd probably say a few notables are, let's see, UAW, Region 9A, SIR, SEIU. I mentioned the Residents Alliance and Our Revolution Cambridge, but feel free to check out more of our endorsements on our website because we've got some also notable community advocates who are supporting our campaign.
Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Ayah Zubi, candidate for Cambridge City Council, second time around. Thank you for being with us and good luck on the campaign trail. And we will see you on November 4th.
Sounds good. Appreciate you. Take care.
Same.